Hi, and welcome. I'm Giselle Koy. I am a certified epigenetics coach with Apeiorn Zoh, Center for Human Enhancement. I work with visionaries and high performers to help them step into their full vitality and full power through precision lifestyle protocols and deep spiritual connection so they can have massive impact. My 3 words that I like to work with in essence and in vibration are beauty, clarity, and contribution. Today, I'm so thrilled to introduce to you Dr. Mickra Hamilton. She is the co-founder and CEO of Apeiorn Zoh, Center for Human Enhancement. Amazing company. If you've not heard of it, start Googling now, and we'll also put some links. It's an amazing, cutting-edge, leading-edge company that really got my attention. We're going to go into a lot of detail about it. She is a colonel in the U.S. Air Force Reserve and a human leading expert in human performance. And in that conversation, also, she's a leader in all things epigenetics, human performance, human enhancement, in so many ways. She is also my dear friend and someone who I have massive respect and admiration for, Dr. Mickra Hamilton.
Oh, so excited to be here.
Hi, Mickra.
You're an inspiration.
You are an inspiration.
And for the two of us to be together and to have this discussion is truly a gift. And of course, it's Valentine's Day.
Yes, and in fact, there's a massive love surge on the planet. Can you feel it? Like, talk about heart math being done for you. There is this just like, everyone's aware of love today.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to me because I've always looked at this day as a Hallmark holiday. And I've never put too much focus into that love piece. Today, the love is so stunning that it's awesome to be here with you.
Yes, we hope you're feeling it. We're feeling it massively. So, do you mind if I start with how we met?
Perfect.
I love the story. So, we actually met in this building at a mastermind for, it was then Future Frontiers. Anyways, an amazing mastermind dinner. And so we were here and we just kind of locked eyes. We met and it was just like game on. It was like we had this immediate connection. I was so like kind of mesmerized by what she was talking about. She was talking about performance, human performance, and also consciousness mixed in. Totally had my attention the entire time. And I just like was super attracted. We became friends. She's one of the reasons why I became a coach for Apeiorn. And just so many things happened from that meeting. And one of the things for me is I am driven by FOMO. I don't know if any of you guys watching have it, but I have this like fear of missing out. When I meet someone or see something super high vibe, I'm like, wait, what am I missing? And that's what Apeiorn is all about, sussing out all these and curating all of these techniques and protocols that take you next level. And so, of course, I was immediately attracted. And I mean, there are so many levels that you can buy into this. Like, part of me was just the human being who just wanted to nail managing my weight. Part of it was someone who wanted to bring in my spirituality to the next level. So there's so many levels that this applies to. And that's what we're talking about, the system, complex system approach to living.
Right. So Apeiorn Zoh, which is the corporation name, is Limitless Life, and it's Greek. It was from Anaximander, and a Pythagoras' teacher, and he said that all things arise from and return to the Apeiron, that which is limitless. And so at Apeiron, we curate a limitless life. And what does that look like? What does it require? And it's, as you said, complex systems approach. So if you're familiar with Nassim Taleb, we love complexity science. We love complexity thinking. It's a multidimensional way of looking at the human system and how that human system interacts with life. And that's epigenetics, which we'll get into because I know you're gonna talk about that.
Yes, and also I love, there's another Nassim I like, Nassim Haramein, the physicist, who said that spirituality is just physics not yet understood. And this is where we come together because I come from the spiritual lane, Mikra's from the science lane, and there is this merging. It's like the common conversation on the planet, spirituality and science merging. And that's what this technology is. So you can train to be a super athlete. You can also train to carry more light and improve your consciousness. And I think these little lanes are coming more and more together. Like they're meeting at the top of the pyramid. At the top of the pyramid is the enhanced human, full consciousness, full performance, embodied.
And I love that you say that. Embodied is the name of the game, right? If you look at this complex human system, I'm here having this experience through a sensory system. That sensory system is taking in all of the information from the environment, and then it's processing it, and of course at light speed. When we look at the paradoxical nature of life, the and both, we find that it isn't a dualistic either or. That and both allows us to merge spirituality and science because it's in fact one and the same. And that's why I'm so excited about this conversation today, because we have an opportunity for both of our worlds to understand through the lens of spirituality, through the lens of science, how to really on purpose consciously design our lives so that we live our limitless expression.
Exactly. And so I want to start with the big picture. That is a pretty big picture. So we're talking about where we're going with all this. Let's go back to this and let's talk about what is this? Like we're all of these, everyone's like, we're into human optimization, we're into human enhancement. You know, that's kind of a thing happening. What does it actually mean and why do we even want it, right? Isn't that a good question?
It is a good question.
Why are we striving to get where this enhancement is? And let's talk about what that looks like. So what does it look like for you?
Well, I think for the first time ever, and it's more than I think, right? For the first time ever, we have sort of a perfect set of circumstances. We have advanced technologies, we have advanced biologics to enhance the human system. So we have an opportunity that's never existed in all of human evolution to go to a place that we don't really even know. Right, and this is what's exciting. Is it's almost an on the edge of your seat. What can we create? Right, if you
Yes.
go simply to, we never thought that we would do a 4-minute mile. Clearly, we've done that and more. So if we look through a complex systems lens of optimizing the entire human system, not stovepiping it into athleticism or cognition. Or let's say this even body, mind, spirit, we're not separate pieces, right? We're one entire human system. When we use precision data to evaluate that human system, to see how life has expressed in it currently, it gives us a starting place so that we can go anywhere we want to go with it, right? When you have your precision data and you understand how life is informed in the nervous system, how it's showing up in the brain waves, what the hormone structures are saying, the blood, the body composition of the muscle and the body fat and bone density, all of those things, and then move into how the mind actually processes the experience. Are we connected and more in a oneness as opposed to separate, that you're an other and you're outside of me and I have to be cautious with you, right? When you take all of those in that complex system, life really changes. And that's the stunning part.
And let's add another layer to that, and that is what is happening on a global level, and that is massive awakening. So we have all these precipices that are happening. So millions, maybe billions of people are waking up and becoming more conscious. There is an acceleration happening right now where we are, Jason Estes, who talks about it really well, he talks about data points, where in the past, we just have to keep up with so many data points per hour, and that's everything happening to us, our epigenetics. Now that's increasing 5-fold every week. So we're absorbing these data points and metabolizing them so much faster, so the system has to keep up. And so the precipice of consciousness is meeting here. So we have science coming in, we have the natural organic ascension happening on the planet, and it is that moment. We are at that moment having this conversation right now. And I love talking about it from everything from that point of view to even what does that look like in our lifestyle. Let's talk about epigenetics and genetics for a minute.
Sure. So we all know that we have the same genetic blueprint. We're basically 99.9% the same.
That's so astonishing.
I know, right?
Like most people don't know that. Like with everything here on the planet, we have the same genetics, mostly. Yeah.
And so it's that tiny percent of uniqueness that makes us so astounding, that makes, right, all of these unique differences, and it translates into everything, right? Now, how it does that is through the epigenetics, or how nature and nurture interact. And this is important because, lots of people are using the term epigenetics to loosely refer to everything. Epigenetics is a science of how nature and nurture interact. No longer is it nature or is it nurture? It's the and both that I referenced before. Every single thing that we think, that we rub on our skin, that we breathe in, that we participate in, the stuff we clean with, the things in the environment, the smog and the pollution, as well as the crystalline air that's in the mountain, in the pristine mountain air. Everything impacts this human system.
I love that because it's like the DNA is a super sensitive antenna.
Yes.
And it can be dialed in so tightly. Like I love the term genetic sampling, which I learned from Apeiorn, which is our 3 billion base pairs of genes are currently sampling, communicating, touching everything else in your 3 billion base pairs of genes with everyone in the room. So it's happening on such a dynamic micro level. And that's like the antenna, I call it the mirrored antenna. And that's really epigenetics, because an important piece is people think that you can change your genes, and you actually can't. Your genes are what you're given. It's your slate, but they express differently through lifestyle. So that's the whole key to me of epigenetics.
Yes.
Expressing through lifestyle. So why wouldn't we want to dial in all those factors? All of these next level protocols that through minor shifts can massively change your experience of life, how you process data, how you respond to events, how you process your emotions, just basically how you choose to live whatever your idea of that end game is, we're still going to get to the end game.
Yes.
Because I love to talk about that. Where is this leading? Okay.
Well, so I think it's important to recognize that we're all sovereignly responsible.
Love that.
Right? And when we talk about epigenetics and interacting with our environment, every single thing that we do is a choice point, right? And so as we encounter each environment and each individual, we have the opportunity to design the experience, right? We make the choices, we take the action, and it's the action over time that creates sustainable change. And
Yes.
That's the really great news, where, as you said, the DNA blueprint is fixed, the expression is the magic, right? So we can turn genes up, we can turn them down, we can turn them on, we can turn them off. We have control. And so the old thing of saying, I am diabetic, my family has diabetes, it simply is not true, right? We have complete control. And so this is probably the biggest thing to take away, is that every single thing that you do in your lifestyle matters.
Yes.
And we can put together strategies and actionable protocols that you can take small steps over time or massive leaps all at once and completely transform your experience. That's the exciting part.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of our favorite protocols that we both use. Are we ready to go there?
You go.
Okay, so one of my, I was thinking about my top 3. And since I've been working with Apeiorn, one of the biggest game changers for me is breath work. Okay, so from my background, there's pranayama. All of the ancient yogis who knew they could dial in consciousness through breath techniques, breath patterns, and that's still super valid. It's gone another level now to where it's actually measured in the brain, the CO2 levels, and also the big breakthrough between Apeiorn and also reading the Oxygen Advantage book, that our breath is actually it's better if it's small and tight, and how our body breathes. So my biggest game changer lately is I'm breathing tiny. I'm not gasping for air. I'm not running with my mouth open. Of course, this is a training program. And it has shifted my consciousness. If we have time, we'll do a minute of how that works. But it's like filling the belly with breath, lengthening the spine, and then you actually feel like a wave of energy washing over your brain, which is actually, I think, your lymphatics, cleaning the brain. So it's very subtle and it's tiny. And why does it shift the consciousness so much? Because it's making huge changes in my life. And some people say you lose weight by breathing correctly. That's in the book.
Well, it is. And so the book she's referring to is The Oxygen Advantage, and it's written by Patrick McEwen. Phenomenal, phenomenal breath guy, right? He stands up on the planet and he says, the breath is the answer. And of course, I agree with that as well. I did a master's training in breath sciences. And if you think about it, it's the first thing we do, right? We come into this experience and we take a breath. It's also the last thing that we do. That is it's so essential to understand. Now, breathing is behavior. And so generally what happens, if we are loved and nurtured as a baby, tiny, soft, we don't even know we're breathing. We go, are they breathing? And so we put our head on their belly.
That's true.
And we say, are they breathing? It's so soft and still and subtle. It's the same with masters. You can't tell that a master's breathing. They're so peaceful and quiet. What happens, there are really three things: slow, low, and small, right? 5 to 6 breaths per minute is the resonance frequency that we're designed to breathe as human. 5 to 6 breaths per minute. Most
slow.
of us are breathing 19 to 24 breaths per minute.
Yeah, check it out.
And so I would encourage you to do 1 minute of timing and find out how many times you're breathing per minute. So if it's high, you want to work your way down to 5 to 6. But so low means that we're breathing around the navel, right? We're using the diaphragm to push the lower lungs up to create a beautiful oxygen delivery across the system. That's based on CO2, carbon dioxide. You know, we say, let's get rid of carbon dioxide and oxygen is the magic. It's not. It's a beautiful combination of really great respiratory chemistry. Alchemy, exactly. And so what Giselle is referring to is this small breath. It's a small volume that allows us to keep the carbon dioxide in the blood. It's the carbon dioxide that allows the hemoglobin to deliver the oxygen into the cells, into the tissue, to the brain. That allows us great access to our resources, cognitive, emotional, physiologic. It is the underpinning of the human experience. And so it's the number one place to focus, to be clear and connected.
I agree, and I'm so excited you got your master's in this, because it's like, can you just roll that out to the world? Because there's so much. I mean, what is the first thing you hear? Everyone's like, take a deep breath. It's like, let's rethink that whole thing. That may not be what is needed.
Yes.
And so I'm excited about this technology rolling out. It's huge. It's really a game changer.
It is.
Really big.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that is one of our big focuses, of course, right? It's that whole complex system.
Yes. Let's keep going with more too.
But if we focus on that one thing, ER visits, ambulance rides to the ER, all of those things go down. Anxiety, panic attacks, sleep apnea, asthma.
Yes.
All of the things that we think are disorders are often tied to this CO2, that low CO2 or overbreathing, hypocapnia. Now, what that does in the brain is astounding, right? If we send out too much carbon dioxide, the brain, the oxygen delivery to the executive centers of the brain that keep us clear and focused, concentrating, highly creative and innovative, it's reduced up to 40 to 60%.
Huge.
Right? And then what happens is the signals that are sent take us back into what we call amygdala overdrive. So there's an amygdala hijack. We become emotional, we become reactive, we become separate and combative. And now you can't tell me that I need to love you because you're an other and I'm just gonna take you out, right?
Right.
All tied to the breath.
Wow.
So that's the number one entry.
It's my favorite game changer. And of course, I'm still working on it. Like, I'm still, of course, it's an ongoing process. But I love that. Moving on to a next one is a lot of people that are in this lane. As a coach, I work with people, and they're in the high performance or the visionary lane. You guys are already researching this. There's like, a lot of my clients know a lot, and they're just there for precision alignments. And that's certainly true in the area of supplementation. So there's most people master the supplements. They know how to take them, what they're taking, but there's a whole new level. And I want to talk about that today because that's been a game changer for me. And that is moving towards a protocol which has been proven to actually not just stop age, but actually reverse age, right?
Reverse age.
Reverse age.
Age rejuvenation.
That is the first test that has come through that has actually proven that. So, do you want to talk about the formula that's used in it a little bit?
Well, a study just came out, and they had four different components.
Yes.
Metformin is it's actually a pharmaceutical, but it's a pharmaceutical derived from French lilac. So it's as natural as we can get.
Yes.
It's super inexpensive. It's used in the treatment of diabetes and insulin resistance, right? It's the only thing sort of considered by the FDA to be used in aging, to really move the marker in the lane of aging. And so there's a study, it's treating aging with metformin, the TAME study. Great study going on. And there's no question that metformin is beneficial in the age rejuvenation process, right? That's one. Quercetin. There are many things right now that are either have been proven or on the early edges of very robust scientific validation to reverse age the human system. Now, we have some stunning things that are happening in that lane, and we're, senolytics. You are familiar. Senolytics assist the dying cells in the body to be removed from the body. Senolytics are big. There are exosomes.
Yes.
There's so many enhanced biologics, peptides that are
Peptides
very precise.
Yes.
And really create rapid change in the human system, both from an optimization perspective and in the enhancement lane, which is super cool.
Yes.
We have thought that age reversal and living to be 150 to 100 years is science fiction. It is not science fiction. It's science now. And every day, more and more studies come out, more and more validation of the processes occur. And so if you're interested in this, do some research. It's now. It's stunning, and we are already into that lane with lots of validation.
Totally my favorite subject, and I'm going to just steer that entire conversation a little bit into the spiritual lane, driving over here just for a second. And what I like to call that is working with codes. So codes are just like, it's information. You could call it information being received by your DNA. And codes come in many forms, like the sun. The sun gives us codes. Like, I've never seen the sun be more powerful than now to go outside and just gaze at it and absorb it through your skin. It's like there's so much information, so much I think the sun is like just this massive code emitter that we can receive. Love talking about codes. I also like to work with, there's wealth codes, which we can talk about, which I think are important in coming online. And there's also codes of immortality. So in my lane, we work with codes where they're actually statements that can trigger some of these activations, and I've written a book called The Codes of Immortality, and I want to give that away for free to everyone listening. And all you have to do is text to the number 31996 the word immortality, and that's my gift to you for watching today. And somebody can maybe put that in the feed, but it's all going back to lifestyle protocols. That's not actually an atomic habit. That's another stacking of a vibration of receiving to help carry more light and upgrade these complex systems.
And so I'll move that same concept a little over into somewhat of the science lane. You know, we talk about, yeah, right. We talk about past lives.
Yes.
Right? And indeed, past lives are true. And if you look at it from a scientific perspective, there's no question that our genetic code is made up of our ancestors' DNA, passing down over time. The things that they experienced, whether it was, blissful and connected living with their ancestors, and in living in peaceful times, or whether it was famine related or terrible things like the Holocaust and traumatic experiences. All of those experiences are passed down into our lineage.
Yes.
And so we are living those past lives actually today in expression of
Wow.
the DNA. And so this is where we got to take it out of what used to be called the woo. And there's no question from a scientific perspective that when you're living for a higher purpose, when that is what drives you, you definitely create sort of a beneficial, we say an alchemical kind of container for your DNA to express in a thriving way. So lifestyle is the best way to do that.
Yes.
Now, I know that you love to meditate.
I do.
Right?
I do.
Meditation is proven, without question, to beneficially shift 2,500 genes that
Wow.
we know of.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Exercise in a 6-month period it beneficially upregulates or downregulates 7,500 genes. 7,500, that's 1/3 of our entire genome.
Wow.
Simply by participating in exercise. And you can call that human movement, right? But it's moderate. And by definition, it's 20 minutes, 3 days a week.
Wow.
Right, so we have so much power over how our lifestyle affects our genetics, our health, our well-being, our longevity, right? What do we look like when we don't decline, decay, fall apart, die, addled, and broken with somebody wiping our backside? It makes, right? It
Yeah.
makes zero sense. So what are the things that we can do, right? We talked about meditation, we talked about exercise, we talked about breathing. What about making love?
Yeah.
This is the thing.
What about making
You
love?
know, I know
Yes.
people who
saying it.
schedule sex.
Wow.
Schedule sex. I just go, wait a minute, I don't understand that because that's part of my daily life and it's not a negotiation. It's not like, am I going to go to the gym today?
Yeah.
This is a connected, beautiful way to have increased oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. I mean, that chemistry of love flowing through my system every day creates joy and bliss.
That is overwhelming, and my DNA just got upgraded. Just like I have champagne in my cells right now. Yes, thank you for saying that. Thank you. Thank you for being the one to say that. It's so true.
Well, you think about the hugs.
And you wear it so well.
Right. We talk about hugs and we
Yes.
go, okay, if we do 20 hugs a day or if we do 100 hugs a day, it's going to upregulate
Yes.
all of this beautiful chemistry. Humans are designed
For love.
for love.
For love. We're designed for it.
For connecting.
Yes.
This is genetically, what's so stunning is that our genes are actually designed to promote thriving of the community. It's not survival of the individual.
Wow.
It's thriving and flourishing of the community of humans and the way we interconnect and interrelate with the planet that hosts us.
Wow.
Right?
That's so beautiful.
So when we look at love from that perspective, how much more do we love and connect when we're in nature and we're in presence? You know, you talk about, you say awakening. I use the word awareness and perception. In that present moment of being very in tune with what I'm doing, connecting with the individual I'm with, or
Fully present.
fully present.
Presence.
Fully present on this planet. What does that look like if we're all doing it? It looks like connection. It looks like very aware choices. I'm not going to drink from plastic bottles that I know are causing issues for my physiology. I'm not going to then throw that plastic bottle into the river that's causing issues for the planetary system, right? I'm going to make very different choices than I made before because I'm aware of what those choices lead to.
Beautiful. And the presence is the word. Living in the presence is also, like in the spiritual lane, known as living in the state of suspended illumination. So you're at that awareness where you are just this in perpetuity machine of illumination. And that's pure presence. And I see so many people that are able to have the space of pure presence lately. Aren't you seeing more and more and more? It's like the pure presence has been turned on.
And one of the things that we're watching, and you are a beautiful testament to this, when the youthful expression of this human system is dialed in, right? When my hormones are youthful.
Yes.
Right? When my thoughts are innocent and connected.
And your heart is coherent.
And my heart, so the breath, the heart, and the brain waves all lock into this effortless, coherent system, right? Where everything entrains. I now have a very different state of being. That state of being is youthful in expression. What I'm watching happen that hasn't happened in the last 10 years, it's speeding up, is with the entrance of these advanced biologics, peptides in particular.
Yes.
Peptides are a game changer. They're informing the system of youth and vitality and the mind. This is what's stunning. The mind is moving into clarity. The things that we have shoved away in the psyche, in the subconscious mind, the traumas, and the things that we won't look upon are coming clear and present. We see our patterns and our programs, and we're able now to make different choices so that we're not experiencing the same broken relationships or the same
the spirals and the loops. We break
Exactly.
the spirals and loops with the new habits, new vibrational stacking, all the new precision lifestyle protocols, which may be super subtle, super precise of dialing them in. But it's all of that works together. And as you say, to produce stunning results.
Ooh, yes.
And that's what I think about Apeiorn, producing stunning results.
For sure.
And yes, I love...
And rapid results.
Rapid. So really quickly, I think we have 5 minutes. Did someone say 5 minutes? Or
No, we are already...
We're good?
5 minutes, so...
Okay, so we're good. What I want to talk about really quick is that end game is... I think this is important because where are we going with this? I'm going back to that. It's like... It used to be a point where I just wanted to be like super in peace and sitting on a mountain and meditating. And these things change. And my new definition, because we all want that GPS point in the future, is living at what I call creator level. It's not my words, but that's a level where you're in flow state of creation. And to me, that's my new favorite point of destination, to be in this flow of this dynamic life, of this stuff happening. Look what we're doing here. Everything is a moment of awe. And so it's like that to me is the most activating of the DNA of everything, living in that creative state.
For sure.
And I know that yours changes, and yours is huge, your state of limitlessness, as you define. But I think it's important that we spend time there. It's like clocking time in a certain dimension. Like we clock time in a certain frequency.
Yes.
We clock time in that state. It's like in Sedona, everybody clocks time on the vortexes. Well, we clock time in that elevated state, and it becomes a habit. It becomes part of who we are. So I think it really is limitless. And I could talk about protocols all day. Sleep is a huge one.
Yes.
So like
Essential.
everything upgrades, miss your sleep and you down regulate. I used to say, like, do you feel dumb after you don't get any sleep? It's because you literally are dumb if you don't sleep, right? You're just dumb that whole next day. And so sleep, I know that you are non-negotiable with your sleep. You and Dr. Dan, how many hours of sleep? 8?
We generally get
Yeah.
8. We hold sleep sacred because, as
Love
with the
that.
breath, it is the foundation of clear connection, thriving life. You know, for me, it's an all-inness. It's a waking up every morning ecstatic for life, thrilled to be in this experience, thrilled to be playing with other people who also look through this lens. Pure excitement.
She is all of this. This is her 24/7.
It is.
No joke. It's
I
amazing.
love this experience. And that's what we do at Apeiorn. We invite people who love the experience or who know that they can love the experience and need
Yes.
some little minor tweaking to join us, right? What if there were a lot of us in this state as compared to the addicted, sad, depressed, burned
Unable
out.
to move emotions. That's
Exactly.
a big thing.
Exactly.
I love working on the micro, clearing emotions every day. That's a big part of the whole creator state. Big.
They flow
Yeah.
through us. They provide a rich experience. Oh my God, to be just so in love, to be joyful, to be sad because you saw something that was so amazing.
Full human experience.
The full
Full.
human experience. Yep.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it. All of it.
Embracing all of it.
Yes.
And being present with what shows up and really merging with it.
So I just want to, on that note, I just want to mention Apeiorn because I'm really grateful. That's one of my upgrades also. I have a lot of gratitude. I'm so grateful I met you. I met Apeiorn. Apeiorn now has, 400 coaches?
Almost 500.
That's huge. There's like 500 of us. We're all different flavors. Like my flavor is more spiritually oriented and working with destinies and brands and upgrades like that. And there's others that are very health oriented. Michelle Norris the other day in a podcast said that the future of healthcare is health coaches. Michelle, I love you for that. That's true.
Yes.
It is true.
Yeah,
It's
Michelle
like the Uber.
Michelle is the CEO of PaleoFX, and
Yes.
and she and her husband Keith have created a beautiful tribal movement that's really changing the way we experience life on the planet. And so, yeah, totally love, right?
Yeah.
All women. I call them warrior goddesses, right?
Nice.
Very strong, very soft, powerful intelligence through loving hearts. Michelle is certainly one of those, as
All
are you.
about the love. Thank you. That was a great podcast. Her and Amber Sears.
Yes.
Great. There's so many of us doing this. So, also, Apeiorn, do you want to talk about any event coming up?
Yes, and
let's just-
speaking of Amber Sears, so
Yes.
Amber is in our event. So Apeiorn is holding our first ever, it's a Precision Performance Summit. And wow, we have a great lineup. You're going to be there,
Thank you,
of course,
thank you.
and my favorite person, Dr. Dan Stickler.
Yay. Hi, Dr. Dan.
Right, my partner and co-founder, Amber Sears, Jamie Wheel, Dr. Dan Engel, Gunther Bergman. I mean, we have Mario Martinez, biocognitive theory, mind, body, self. We have so many stunning thought leaders in the lane of age rejuvenation. We're doing performance enhancement and also psychedelic sciences.
Right.
And how those inputs to the human system allow it to upgrade and enhance, right? Whether it's from a state of trauma or from a state of optimization, all of these inputs have a very beautiful place in optimizing the human experience. So it's at the Fairmont in Austin, Texas.
March 6, 7, and 8.
6, 7, right?
March
for,
6, 7.
For the open
Yes.
field. And we're really excited. You're going to have the link to the event.
I will have the link. Also,
Right.
it's like the first time, there's a lot of events that Apeiorn does, but this is open to the public.
Yes.
So if you kind of want to come test it out and you're like, it looks really interesting, come to this event. It's going to be amazing people. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's so
We're gonna bring the
leading edge.
love.
And actionable strategies. So you're going to hear
Yeah.
the latest in all of those fields, the performance enhancement, age rejuvenation, psychedelic sciences, and how each of these complex systems inputs create an up-leveled life, a limitless life, limitless expression. We would love to see you there. We're also going to film it, and so we'll be able to share that if you can't make it. But we encourage you to come.
Beautiful. Dr. Mickra Hamilton, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure.
It's been
Thank
amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. So much gratitude to Apeiorn, to everyone listening, to everyone that's doing health and coaching and health coaches. I love health coaches. That's just
Sure.
what I love. So thank you for watching, everyone. Namaste and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy day. Thank you.